Welcome then, friends, to Tanked Up, the old person's podcast about video games and beer. We're all falling apart, we're old and we're weary. I'm Ben, it's episode 316. I'm here with a weary Lucy.
Yeah, let's get physical.
You really are trying to date this podcast, aren't you?
I mean, is that not modern?
I described something today as modern and then wrote probably built in the last 30 years. I'm like, yeah, that's modern. Sure, why not? And we're here with Aadil.
Hey!
Let's open up some beers and then we'll get into our topic for the week. Aadil, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the Stout Brummie from Birmingham Brewing Company.
Yes, nice.
It's 4.8% stout. It says, what makes a Stout Brummie? British roasted floor malts with a wholesome oatmeal, earthy and floral traditional hops, a heartwarming, full-bodied richness.
Nice. What was the percentage?
4.8%.
Okay, nice and light.
So lighter than the DIPPA, but I figured maltier, have a second.
Yes, yeah, perfect. I am going to drink a DIPPA. That is called DIPPA. It's from Staggeringly Good, but it is an HBC 630 DIPPA, 8.5%.
Oh, I saw that one. The nice little dinosaur. Should I get my? I think it's from Staggeringly Good beer. Should I get that at the fridge?
If you want to, if you want to drink a beer from there.
It's not the same beer, but it might be.
When was this? This was brewed, DPA2 was brewed in January. So it's relatively fresh. Oh, thank you. Yes. Okay, Lucy's going to drink a beer from Staggeringly Good as well. It seems. I haven't had a beer from them for ages. And as I was out having a pint earlier and I was in the bar, they had a can in the fridge and I'd seen this DIPPA on socials. So as soon as I kind of saw, that, the Diplodocus with DIPPA in it on a green tin, I'm like, yep, I'll have that one. Perfect. I'll take that home for tonight. It's and we've talked previously, probably find an previous episode about us talking about can art and what we lean towards. That'd have been an old, you're going back like 200 or 300 episodes, I would imagine, for that conversation. But yeah, this was definitely one that was like, buy this. I'm like, yes, I definitely will. So Lucy, what have you got?
I love that can art. I've got what Olivia Newton John would probably bottle as a sweat and sell to gamers now. I've got a beer from Staggeringly Good as well. And I always get them confused with like Neon Raptor. I don't know.
Yes.
Just do dinosaurs. They both have like Barney the dinosaur, purple dinosaurs as their emblem. This is called Brew, BRU, and it's double dry hopped NEIPA.
Ooh.
Okay. Nice.
Oh wow. Wait, is that dinosaur wearing Argyle? Wait, what is it wearing?
He's wearing
Argyle. An Argyle sweater.
Yeah.
Vest. Argyle sweater vest. That's the name of my
Hollow
indie
Knight
band.
is above him.
Is it a collaboration with Little Monster? Is that their logo?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is, because I think I saw their name on it. Yeah, littlemonsterbrew.com.
Oh, I haven't had anything from them for ages either. Perfect. Let's get these beers open.
Brother, term of affection in Afrikaans. Didn't know that. Okay, interesting.
Brew.
Should I read the rest?
Yeah, I knew that.
When we brew with Little Monster, it's like brothers coming together. This is the first of 2 brew releases. This one with Simcoe Cryo hops. Yeah, oats hops. Yeah.
Nice.
Might be a single hop. Might be a single hop beer. Yeah, 6.8%.
Perfect. I didn't even see if I had flavour text on this. I'm currently just taking an eyelash out of my beer. Mine, I would assume. This does have a bit of flavour text. DIPPA is all about big flavour and aroma. This beer uses HBC 630 hops, 630 hops. These hops are complex and fruity, bringing characters of sweet fruits and berries like raspberry and cherry, along with sweet candy-like esters and lactones, giving creamy notes of peach and banana. It sounds like there's a lot of different flavours going on in this. Yeah, so the hops, it does tell me what they are. HBC 630, Citra BBC, and Cryo Pop. But that's it. Wicked. So we've done flavour text. Aadil, we'll come back to you for the Stout Brummie.
Yeah, so it poured with a bit of head, but it's all gone. Some decent lacing. It's actually quite quick. Quite light on the nose. It's light malts. Like a slightly sweet, like toffee, but not that sweet. And no burnt malts on the nose at all. Just like a rounded toffee scent. Well, a hint of coffee maybe in the background. Like if you were in a toffee factory and someone just made an espresso.
The Coffee Toffee Factory.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, the TCF. That took me too long.
TCP? Huh?
Drink it. Drink that bit.
Don't want to drink TCP.
Gargle with it. That's fine.
So I will say the thing that I was hoping wasn't the case, but it's 4.8%, and because of that, it feels quite thin and wet on the finish.
Okay.
Because it just doesn't have that depth that like alcohol does give, and like I want out of my stouts, and I think because malt forward beers just make that quite obvious. It's one I've realized more recently. It's like one of the reasons why I lament lighter stouts is because being more malt forward versus hop forward, you notice the texture of the beer a bit more.
Yep.
While like very hoppy beer can kind of mask that it's thin in that sort of texture way. Everything else though is great. It's just a nice quality stout.
Nice.
A little more burnt notes on the malts coming out, but it is still that toffee, that slight sweetness. Is there actually that's really interesting. I'm curious about the water because I'm getting quite a clean sharpness on that finish that I was lamenting that is kind of wet, but it's not bad. It's just like, it's almost like that sharpness is competing with the malty finish, and so you kind of dual finish, like it's kind of like yes, we're done. That's what the water is doing. That's what like the lower ABV is doing. But then there's just after that, there's just a lingering sort of a little more burnt, almost rubbery malty finish.
Okay.
But it's very much in the back seat, but it feels like the main taste. So I guess what I'm saying is that it feels like the main taste curve ends, and it's like, yes, clean finish. It's light. This is a nice drinkable stout, and then there's this like lingering back end, which is like, hey, I'm still here, but like it really feels like the taste curve wants to end with the sort of clean finish, but because it's a stout, there's some maltiness, and maybe once my palate gets used to that, I'll just end up having these clean stops. Which would mean that I will drink this very quickly.
Yes. Yeah. Fair. It's also a 330ml can, so it will be gone in a flash. This DIPPA from Staggeringly Good. It's got a nice nose. Definitely getting those sweeter candy notes on the nose, and the raspberries coming through on there as well. It's kind of, as you can see, very dense in its colour. Just a solid block of orangey liquid.
That looks like orange juice with bits in.
Yeah, I mean it's close. It's maybe more of a tropical mix of fruit. It's got a little hint of maybe a little bit redder than orange. But that flavour's good. The raspberry that comes in the nose is a little bit lost. I think maybe the cherry is kicking through just a bit too much to allow some of those lighter, sweeter notes to come out. Something like the raspberry, which is a bit more difficult for it to come through. The banana as well is maybe just a little bit lost. It's hidden kind of within there, but you're getting that nice stone fruit, very light, little peachy, still getting that candy sweetness from it as well, but that deeper cherry kind of flavour, which edges on kind of a bit more of a danker kind of note. It's not quite there, you know. We're kind of edging more towards a very refined and well balanced kind of juice bomb without the bomb. Just a juicy, very well balanced beer without any of these modern kind of earthy notes. The cherry gives it a little bit of that, but it's a little bit kind of sweeter still. It pulls back from being too much. So I think they balance that flavour out very, very nicely, but it's not quite giving me everything that it suggests that it would give me. But it's very smooth. It's got a little bit of viscosity to it. It's a little thick, which is nice as well. So I know that I'm drinking something slightly bigger. Very, very smooth and very, very easy.
It is bigger because it's got a brontosaurus on the can.
Exactly.
It's
Or
really
is it a
big.
Dippodocus?
The darkest.
No. I only learnt my
Dippodocus.
dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. and that's
I mean, I say
If
Dippodocus.
it weren't in
you
that,
might
it
say
wasn't.
Diplodocus.
If
I
it,
said
if
I
it
do
wasn't
say
in
Dippodocus.
Jurassic Park, it's not a dinosaur. Okay.
No,
Not
I
a
mean,
dinosaur,
sure, fine.
I
How's
absolutely do not believe that. I'll be
Unlike-
saying the Earth is flat. Yeah.
yeah,
Unlike
the
Brew.
purple dinosaur on Brew, not in
Does
Jurassic
look a
Park.
bit like Barney. Does
Mm.
look like a bit like Barney.
I like the
just-
Tron one that they do, where he stood holding the ring above the purple dinosaurs, just in his Tron outfit. It's a very good can.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I'm gonna have to look that up on the interwebs. But yeah, to clarify, this has Simcoe, Cryo, Galaxy, and Citral. It's not just Simcoe Cryo. Yeah. Big block of solid straw-coloured beer.
Yeah,
When I first bought it, I was just like, oh yeah. I was like, I'm gonna get a glass of water because I want to go fresh on this because it smelled like it had so many fruits on the aroma. Slightly just dissipated a bit, but still has that kind of soft, fruity aroma to it. It smells like a bear beer, to be
Ooh.
honest. Yeah, so if it tastes like that. Yeah, delightful smell. Delightful smell. You're getting a lot of those hops on the aroma.
Where are Staggeringly Good? Are they Brighton way?
I always want to say Nottingham.
Hmm.
No, but that's
might be
Neon
the other
Raptor.
Barney
Neon
Good.
Raptor in Nottingham.
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely.
Little Monsters
is
definitely
lovely.
Brighton sort of way.
Mm,
Somewhere in Sussex.
that is a lovely beer.
Nice.
It's light, but light in body, I'd say, but very full in flavour.
Mm-hmm.
Got a slightly powdery. I guess I not put powder in the pejorative sense, but it's got a light body when you drink it. It's like, okay, this is very easy, but it's still got a bit of heft to it. It's still got like, okay, I'm drinking a slightly chewy beer. It's like there's something to it. Oh, that is very fresh. It tastes very fresh, like it's just come off the tap.
Nice.
Like, So when this was canned, can I see when it was canned? But it just tastes really fresh. It still retains like a lot of those, I guess, stone fruit flavors. I guess a bit of peach.
Yeah.
Not so much tropical. Yeah, I'd say, but more stone fruit flavors. But yeah, it's just very. It just feels like it's come off the tap. It's like it's very, nothing subdued. It's
Nice.
right there, even though it's not like the most fruit forward and bodacious, in your face kind of fruit forward beer, but you can taste those fruits. I think those free hops probably, elevating that and bring that forward. But I think the oats probably help. As I say, it's even though it's 6.8%, and you just think this is straying towards the more heavier kinds of beers, it's still very easy, but still retains enough of its body where it's like, yeah, I'm getting a beer here. Yeah, that's really good. That's really impressive. Yeah, a nice bit of pine. I think that's. I think that's more. That's what I noticed probably as soon as I noticed how easy it is and how much fruit there is. Just that pininess on the end.
Yeah.
Just really well balanced with that.
Nice.
That's the lasting finish on there, but
That's
good. That's good. I should drink more of these.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I feel exactly the same way after drinking. A few sips of DIPPA. Staggeringly Good. When I rarely get them, are always very good.
Staggeringly
I don't know
so?
much about them. Yes, I don't know much about them, to be fair. So.
Me neither.
They're from Portsmouth.
I probably picked it up thinking it was Portsmouth. Well, everyone's happy down there because the sun's down there. So
We've been to Southampton. Not sure everyone's happy down that way, but
everyone's happier there than they are in Birmingham. I'll say that. Comparatively, they're happier. But yeah, that's good.
Perfect. Ooh. Good. Let's leave our beers there then and come back to them at the end of the episode and launch into our topic for the week. We're going to talk a little bit about PlayStation. Aadil, why don't you lead us in? I know you brought the article up to give us a little bit of a rundown of what's gone on.
Yeah, so basically, the long-awaited PlayStation Plus upgrade new offering has come out. Obviously, just listen to us and you know that GamePass has been a juggernaut in gaming for the past couple of years. Microsoft has really done a lot with getting new games and also AAA games, and they've gotten EA on board, and they've done a lot to expand the Game Pass offering. And Sony's been in the wings, and they have announced their new thing. And the new thing is tiered PlayStation Plus. So,
an umbrella kind of name to it, does it?
Yeah. So PlayStation Plus used to be there if you want a multiplayer game on the PlayStation ecosystem, you get PlayStation Plus. It also gives you a couple free games.
I meant this umbrella of thing that they've announced. I know everyone called it a Spartacus, but it doesn't have a name.
It's just PS Plus.
It's just PS Plus.
Yeah.
Okay. PS Plus. Yeah. So the point is that PS Plus now has multiple tiers, and so again, originally PS Plus was playing online and getting a couple games per platform a month access, and then if you cancel PS Plus, you would no longer have those games in your library.
Yep.
Yeah, which sucks a bit. It's like,
I
think with the most direct competitor to Xbox Live Gold or whatever it's called.
Xbox Live. Yeah.
I think.
Xbox.
Yeah, I think
Live.
Yeah. I think you could download those games as long as you link them to your account.
On Xbox.
No, on Xbox on games with gold also went away when you stopped having Xbox Live.
Really?
I know, because I canceled my Xbox Live back when I had an Xbox.
Did you redeem those games though?
Yeah, I had them in my library, and then they stopped being.
Oh right.
In my library, but then when I got Game Pass, they started showing up in my listing again because I'm paying the bills.
Oh, as long.
So Sony and Microsoft play the same game. Yeah, they don't just disappear.
No, but if I was to re-up on my PlayStation Plus,
you would get
they would all come back. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But again, it's everything that you have registered against your account. So even if I've got PlayStation Plus and I don't go onto the game listings and say I want this game, add it to my library or download this game, then I can never come back to that. Once it's gone for the month, or I have got rid of my account or my PS Plus account, then it's gone.
I know that makes sense. No, that's good. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So they both do the same
I didn't
thing.
realize that. I thought if I re-up now, I don't know. Uncharted Golden Abyss might be gone forever.
So, having said that, so that notion of PS Plus
Mhm.
has been rebranded to PS Plus Essential, which is 2 monthly downloadable games, exclusive discounts, cloud storage for saved games, online multiplayer access. So that's PS Plus.
What you get now?
They've just yeah. Also, I will remind you, the cloud storage for saved games and online multiplayer is a charged thing because bleh. Sorry, I've been playing a lot of PC games the past couple of years, and like I haven't turned my PlayStation 4 on in God knows how long because I don't have. I mean, I wanted to play Horizon 1 because Horizon 2 came out, and then Horizon 2 was a man. I was like, I'll get around to Horizon 1 because I own it. I bought it, and I have the PS4, but I'm not rushing out to do that. Anyway. And so that
I think to be the Xbox fangirl here, I think you get cloud saves regardless.
I believe that's the case.
Yeah.
And that is a savior a lot of the time. I mean, it's Steam. They haven't got cloud saves in their game, so that pisses me off as well. You know.
I mean, for most Steam cloud saves work for the most part.
They do, but it's like if Xbox are just there, they just do it for you. I'm lazy.
Well, no, but I mean, so it used to be the case on Steam. Like I used to run Game Save Manager, and
I don't want to run anything.
No, let's just relax. And I used to run Game Save Manager, and I would point it all to a OneDrive folder. So that my Windows backed up my game saves, and so if I reinstalled Windows, I would get all my save games back.
The only use anyone has ever had for OneDrive.
Exactly, because you get like 2 gigs free, and that's perfect for save games, and that's about it. However, I will say I stopped doing that because Steam cloud saves just started working.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's one of the things that they quietly have done better on. And I don't feel the need of. I realized I'm not going back.
I think with a lot of the indie games I play, it's not.
Oh really?
Don't always have that feature, and it's like infuriating.
The only time I've ever had an issue was with Mad Max, which was like 5 or 6 years ago now, where Steam just went, "We can't read your cloud save." It's just gone.
Read my cloud save.
And I'm like, oh. Well, I'm not starting that again.
Yeah. Not everything has cloud saves on Steam. I don't know if that's a requirement as part of the certification process on Xbox. It might be.
It should be.
But
it's not that hard.
It works. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Xbox fangirl.
Yeah.
Signing out.
At the risk of getting us on track and being banned, it's $6.99 for that. I think that's the same price as PS Plus?
It is. But again, if you stack up for a year, it's cheaper. It's probably It's probably
we're just gonna do the monthly and recognize the yearly discounts just so I don't waste too much of our time.
Roll through this quickly so we can. Trying
to. So PlayStation Plus Extra is one of the new tiers, and it has the essential tier, and it adds a catalog of up to 400. Asterisks of the most enjoyable PS4 and 5 games, including blockbuster hits from our studio's catalog and third-party partners. Games in the extra tier are downloadable for play, and this is $10.99 per month with a yearly discount.
So this is the inclusion of PS Now?
Well, no, because PS Now has the old games, right?
Right. Okay.
So this is 400. Well, it's 400 PS4 and PS5 games, no back catalog beyond that. And that's for an extra £4 a month.
Right.
So just shy of double. Yeah. Well, $6.99 and $10.99. Then they introduced a PlayStation Plus Premium, which is all of the above and 340 additional games, including PS3 games available via cloud streaming, PS Now, and a catalog of beloved classics available in both streaming and download options from OG PS1, PS2, and PSP generations. Cloud streaming access for for PS1, 2, P, and 4 games offered in the extra premium tiers, and that includes PC streaming where that's available. And time-limited game trials will also be offered in this tiers. Customers can try select games before they buy, and that is $13.49 per month.
Mm-hmm.
That means that PS Now, the streaming PS Now stuff, is all loaded into PS Plus Premium,
Right.
which is over double the cost of PS Plus.
Yes. Yes. Before we delve into lots of stuff, I just realised the Vita really is dead, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not on the list.
Yep.
Dead on arrival,
It's
mate.
just completely just ignored. Hey, have all of these old classic games also from the PSP. Nah, no Vitas, mate.
Is the Vita still live?
Yes, they reversed that decision and kept the Vita store and the PS3 store.
The PS3 and Vita stores are, I think, until September at least. You can still buy things,
right?
And download doesn't have a limit.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
So yeah, it's. I mean, it's a system that kind of makes sense. Like having, I can understand why they've done this tiered version. They've got two. They've got two different services at the moment with PS Now and PS Plus, and they've just gone. Let's just bring it under one kind of thing. PS Plus people can go, cool, I'm just paying PS Plus, I can up what I'm paying. This seems like a better deal. PS Now people are just like, you're paying probably the same amount a month, £6 a month, and now suddenly to get the same experience, you've got to pay 14 quid.
Oh, really? It's like kind of...
So PS Now will not exist anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, PS Now is the only PS Now is PS Plus Premium.
Yep. I would imagine they look at the numbers that they've got and they go, we've got 40 million PS Plus subscribers. We've got 6 PS Now subscribers. Let's make them pay an extra £6 a month each.
That's shitty.
Now we have 12, the same as 12 of them.
Yes. I mean, it is shitty. It looks like they're making a positive choice for consumers, but limiting it for lots of consumers. And I know, Lucy, there's a big PC kind of issue as well with this, with people paying and playing. And I hadn't realised that there is a PS Now PC app. So you can have a PS Now subscription and not have a PlayStation. You can play it on your PC.
Which I thought this was going to be... This was one of the... I mean, this was leaked forever, and we all knew what it was going to be. And track record, we knew Sony wasn't going to fulfill all our dreams and get Cooler World on PC.
Oh.
But it's like, even then, it's still a bit... Okay.
I'm just going to add a quick thing, which is the PC streaming that's in PS Plus Premium is market limited. And so in the markets that they haven't introduced that yet, they will have PlayStation Plus Deluxe, which is everything but cloud streaming that's in Premium.
Yeah.
And they don't give pricing. They say local pricing will vary. But why would you get...
Yeah, good luck.
Why would you get Deluxe and not...
Well, I assume...
For fuck's sake.
I assume they're the places that don't have PS Now already.
Yeah.
No, I 100% assume that. I'm just saying, if I was in that market, why would I be, even if it's 10p more than the $10.99 of extra? What am I getting there? I'm getting, I guess No.
You're getting the PlayStation back catalog, right?
Right, so the back catalog for download, that's the thing that you get for PS Plus Deluxe outside of premium markets. Sorry. It's a fucking nightmare. Also, you know what people like doing when there's like really mouthful things is acronyms, but then we have PS Plus Essential and PS Plus Extra.
Does it
Thanks,
spell piss?
Sony.
Piss. Is that the...
So I got PPE and PPE and PPP.
Oh, I need some of that for my hospital.
But also PPD, where PPP is not available.
It's so convoluted. It's ridiculous.
I was really hoping this would get me to turn my PlayStation 4 on. And the only thing that will is me finishing FF7 Remake, because I really am sad I didn't.
Sure.
And I'm going to restart it, I think, by this point.
Stream it on PC.
I mean, yeah, but I was going to say, but I'm not spending, like, what, 13 quid a month to stream a game on PC that I own on PS4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think with this, it's like, it's just the way things are with PlayStation. I mean, they have no reason to change things. They're the market leader, and yeah, I think it's good that they're catering to people. Yeah, there's a lot of hubris right now, and rightly so in some senses. Like, I think that can come up and bite you, but I think at this point they've got enough in market share and they're doing well, and yeah, they're catering to people, where they are, and it's like they're catering to the PlayStation audience. And it's like good. If I was like paying for PlayStation Plus, I'd be like, yeah, this is good, this is cool. I'm getting more for my money, or I pay a little extra and I get some more things. I just think when there's a direct competitor out there, even if Sony don't want to position themselves as this is the Xbox analog, that's what it's going to be compared to. And Microsoft are, they have billions. They can throw around money. They can do what they want at this point.
Yeah.
Their market strategy is, whilst very clever, something only Microsoft can do because they have the money. So, yeah.
Even in that, there's loads of points to kind of break down. Sorry, finish your point. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. No, I was just gonna say, like, look, this is not for people who don't have
This is not for people.
This is not for people who are not already in the ecosystem.
Absolutely, yes.
It's not for me and Aadil. Whilst I like PlayStation and their games and what they do, most of the time, I'm not in that ecosystem. Not because, I was joking about being an Xbox fangirl. It's like I'm just not in that ecosystem. It's just easier for me to play, especially as someone in the West on Xbox. They cater to everything I need. I don't even need to pay for GamePass at this point because we earn enough Microsoft reward points.
Yeah.
I don't buy games from anybody usually, apart from Nintendo, who have a very closed garden wall system that has its own problems, a lot of problems. Their subscription service is even crappier than this, so they're their own entity. But, Game Pass was very much, we need to cater to people, on mobile, on PC, because we are not getting sales anywhere. We're not getting sales on Xbox. So it's like, let's meet people where they are.
We need to broaden the market. Absolutely.
Yeah. Sony are meeting people where they are, which is on PlayStation. It's like, there's nothing wrong with that. But so yeah, people getting on that ecosystem and getting more value. This is not what, people like me and Aadil who are like, not lapsed gamers, but we just don't play on that ecosystem. We just want them to meet us where we are. We're not getting that. And that's...
I think
you just expect that from Sony at this point.
Yes, so completely, because they've made all of these moves, right? So you can play PlayStation on your phone and on your PC, but only if you own a PlayStation. Because you can remote play through the apps on all of these things, and you still need to have the box to be able to kind of do that. Unless you're PS Now, until June or whenever it is that it's not going to exist anymore. But I completely agree that in one way they've got this hubris about them, and there was the whole like misstep at the start of the PS3 generation when they were so strong with PS2, and everyone going, wow, Xbox is now the leading kind of console, and it was for a very long time, but then PS3 sold more than Xbox 360s, and then PS4 was so... Like,
I didn't know that. I thought Xbox 360 just beat PS3.
PS3
have sold more worldwide consoles than Xbox 360 at the end of the thing.
Don't forget there's like 2 Xbox 360s in Japan right now, and they're in a landfill.
Plus, there's 2 Xbox 360s per person, because the red ring of death meant that you had to get another one. So actually, there's only 40 million people who bought an Xbox 360 because they bought 2 of them. But again, PlayStation caught up and overtook the 360. PlayStation 4 obviously was the runaway console that generation. If you take Nintendo out of the picture, with the Wii and the Switch, which is, you know,
forget the Wii, that doesn't exist.
But PlayStation,
the Wii definitely was its own thing, I think.
Yes, and again the Switches as well. But now the Switch is becoming a little bit closer to them because a lot of stuff is being ported over to Switch. Apart from obviously the first party things, loads of and tons of fucking millions of Switches out there. But it almost seems that the 3 console manufacturers are kind of distancing themselves along this line, right? Xbox is over here going, we want it to be accessible. We're not selling that many consoles. Let's try and make it open to more people and put it on more platforms are here. PlayStation are kind of, or Nintendo over on the other side, like, play on Nintendo. The game is always £4 billion. There's no sales. This is it. This is what you get. And then PlayStation are kind of somewhere in the middle.
Well, I think PlayStation going more towards Nintendo because
I was just saying
they have the legacy at this point. Like, people at this point are too entrenched in the. I don't know. I don't want to say like, you know, console wars or something, but I think a lot of people have brand loyalty, which is fine. You know, it's like
but
I have
also
that.
just ecosystems.
I would probably never buy another car other than Audi because, you know, they're good cars.
You like that car?
People may not. People like PlayStations.
But I think this is the thing with like digital libraries as well, isn't it? Like you have a digital library of hundreds of games on a certain console. Like it would be crazy for me to suddenly just be like, right, I'm switching over to Xbox and I'm going to buy a Series X or S over a PS5 because of because of that massive PlayStation library that I have that I can lean into.
That's what the games with gold and PS Plus free games were always about. They were about creating a sunk cost library, which disappears. But like you don't even need that because if you bought digital games, you can't resell them. So you own stuff in this ecosystem that you can't. You just have, and that's it. You are the only one who have this, and I think that's why. That's how that's why people do the brand loyalty to a stupid way because they need to justify themselves against a sunk cost fallacy. Why? Because it's a fallacy. If it is a sunk cost fallacy, if you don't plan on ever playing those games again, which you probably won't, right? Then it's a sunk cost fallacy. But the entire systems are based on the notion of sunk costs.
Because as much as I like to think I like what Xbox do, and I always think they're a bit more forward thinking than PlayStation, and it's like, you know, everything's catered to me. If I had a PS3 in that early era, I'd probably be still in the PlayStation, you know, ecosystem. You know, I mean, I really don't care which games, you know, I play and which platform I play them on. So yeah, it's just a case of as you say, digital legacy and stuff like that.
But I mean, it's one of the reasons why I I stuck with PC gaming in front of console was because I felt like my library would last longer because, and even though I'm not replaying it, I like there were mods or patches out there to play on Windows 10 some bullshit game I bought 1 million years ago, and that makes me feel a little better about buying that game, about never playing that game. But it's the same mentality, right? But my stupid brain really likes the idea of I could potentially do that, and the most flexible way of potentially doing that is on the PC. And most people are just like, I'll just stick in this ecosystem, and the big games come into both anyway.
Yeah, but when you break free of that ecosystem, like Apple or PlayStation, you feel free.
Completely. I think as we're rolling through actually this conversation quite quickly. I thought we'd have finished a long time ago, but actually,
Cooler World on PlayStation.
as a final point from me, and it's not something I ever really think about that much. The and it's something that the tiered system that PlayStation made me think about a little bit more. All three of us are actually in quite a privileged position to be able to delve into these different subscription services and ecosystems kind of as and when we want. Okay, we might not be flush enough to say buy both next generation consoles day and date when they kind of come out, but with the accessibility of Game Pass, we can kind of dip in and out of that as much as we want on PCs. We've all got very powerful PCs with which we can kind of work with. We've then also got a console that we sit and play with, and we can afford to pay for these online subscription services. I think that suddenly, by saying that, okay, it's like about $13.99 or $13.50 a month for the top tier, and I think it's about £100 a year if you pay as an upfront year.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, absolutely. That's like $1,000 in just the first year that you get the consoles, you know?
So it's kind of, suddenly if you go, well, I've got Game Pass as well, potentially I've also got Switch, I'm also buying games on the cheap on Steam, you know, it's a very privileged place to be in, to kind of be like, right, which tier do I want to elect for? Which console am I going to kind of play these things on as well?
Yeah. But also the opportunity cost of that £100 is a lot. Like, it's access to a bunch of old games.
Mm-hmm.
But how many? That's the thing. It's like, how many people want to? But me, yes, absolutely. But
like, I mean this, like, I think a lot of us get sucked in by it. But like, why I like Game Pass is it does have some of the older double 2.5A games that I miss.
Exactly. Yeah.
And a bunch of indies. And like, what I don't see here is
you have to opt into that higher tier.
But also, this higher tier doesn't say anything about new, interesting indies. It just says, hey,
nothing's promised day and
this is the Sony catalog. Yep. You want the Sony catalog? Like, that's what I'm disappointed in.
Yeah.
There's no... why I like Game Pass isn't because, theoretically, I could play Gears of War. Wrong GOW. I don't give a shit about...
Weekly.
Yeah. Aww. Yeah, but like, that's not like, the old libraries aren't what's grabbing me for Game Pass. Absolutely. But sometimes it's like, oh yeah, that game exists, maybe I'll play that. But like, my name is Pedro. I played a bit of in the past couple months because it was on Game Pass, and I really wanted to play it when it came out, and it was one of those zeitgeist games that kind of never stuck. I played a bit of it, and I just never would have, and I think I'll probably go back to it when I have more free time. But I'm not going back for... And it's not just because Microsoft's like catalog is weaker than Sony's. I'm just like, only so much of me wants to play old catalog games.
Yes.
Some of me does, right? But like, I'm not going to spend £100. Like, that's 2.5 games. Actually, that's one game. Never mind. I forgot the games are now like £80. Never mind. I take it back. It's cheap. It's affordable. Get 700 games instead of one.
But I think that's an excellent point where it's like, just further cements the notion that Xbox are appealing to a wider audience, where it's like, you pay Xbox Ultimate or whatever, and you get the Xbox 360 games, you get the original Xbox games, whereas PlayStation, you have to be of the higher tier, i.e. the people who are really into PlayStation, to get those older legacy games.
I mean, how much is Ultimate? Is it $14.99 a month?
50. I think it's like £15 a month.
So I mean, okay, that's on both PC and console, so you can kind of swap and change with that kind of thing. That makes a big difference. So suddenly, if PlayStation's tier is slightly less than that, it's offering not a similar kind of service, but part of what Game Pass is doing,
but
for a similar price.
Game Pass, it's cheaper if you just get PC.
Yes.
You're paying comparatively even more now.
Oh yeah, so I'm like, it's like £10 a month if you're just PC. Yeah.
If you're just on PS now, because they rolled it into one. So
yeah.
As I say, I think those are the comparisons where it's like, PlayStation can catering to their audience. They're probably like, people are clamoring for something GamePass-ish, and this might assuage their fears or just cater to them, and they could say, look, we got PS now, and we can play Wild Arms on a PlayStation 5s, and they're like happy.
Yeah, and they'll get
like, yes,
and they'll get Returnal, which they didn't buy, and they can play. And then in a month's time or 2 months' time, they might get the Ratchet and Clank game, which came out.
Awesome.
You know,
like,
great, but it's not day and date stuff the same as.
The fact that day and date was not even alluded to, like the best you got was.
They don't need to though. The reason why Xbox went day and date is because those games were not selling. Crackdown was never going to sell. Halo was never going to sell. Gears of War was never going to sell. Recore, whatever. I think that came a bit after.
That was before.
Game Pass.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, before Game Pass. But it's like those games were not selling. Horizon sells like 12 million copies.
Yeah, that's true.
We'll probably get to 20 minutes. Last of Us, God of War. You know, these games sell. They have no incentive to put those day and date. And I'd agree. Not because of the virtuous cycle, because what Jim Ryan said, but it's like, no, it's like, you don't need to. Those games will sell. Yeah. None of those Xbox games sold. You know, Gears of War was one of the best-selling games on, 360. That franchise through that era. When that dries up, what the hell are you going to do? Because Microsoft, they probably invest a lot of money into those franchises, but they're not great games. They're not, great games like God of War or anything. They're not going to sell that much. So
it's fine. Yeah, we'll have Funko Pop Halo soon, so don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah. Years, didn't they? But it's like, why get $0 from someone when you can get 15?
Absolutely.
A month. You know?
Yeah.
Sony will get those $15. Yeah. They'll get $70.
Yeah.
Well, 80, I don't know what it is.
Completely.
Regardless, so,
Let's finish there then for our topic this week, and just to return to our beers very briefly. Aadil, the Stout Brummie.
Yeah. I think it's settled a little more. I didn't feel that disconnect between that wetness finish and the malt as much. So by the end, it was just I was sipping a nice stout. I mean, I think this might sound like damning praise, but it isn't. It's just it's just a stouty stout. Nothing more, nothing less.
That's fair. For me, the DIPPA is one of the better DIPPAs I've had in recent memory. Whilst it didn't do everything it said, it was doing enough that it was a lovely, lovely bit. Lots of those sweet candy esters kicking in. That cherry was really, really nice. It backed up a load of those flavours very, very well, and did give it a slight earthy note to it as well, but it wasn't too much. It wasn't anywhere near what we've been getting with loads of DIPPAs, and it was nice and light. I kind of want people to be delving a little bit more into bitterness with their DIPPAs. We get some really, really bitter IPAs, but DIPPAs never get that bitter. And I kind of want that. I want a big hit of flavour. Yes, really, really sweet. I want a big hit of flavour. I want that sweetness up front, and then just to delve down into the depths of bitterness with something. I've yet to get that. Not to say that is, what I want is taking away from DIPPA from Staggeringly Good at all. Really, really good beer. And Lucy, how was your Staggeringly Good?
It was staggeringly good. It's just a really well balanced IPA, but just full of flavour, full of that just sweet goodness. It's just like I was waxing lyrical about the beer that I had last week. This is as good as, if not better. This reminds me of like a Polly's or Dea beer. It's very good. It's just so full of flavour, but still retaining, just an easiness where it doesn't have to be like that double IPA strength or that kind of sweetness or anything. It just does what it needs to do, but it just ratchets things up in a way that it's like, okay, you're not going to the next level where it's like a DIPPA or something like that. Was it double dry hot? Yeah, it's double dry hot. So that probably explains it. It's like so much flavour, but just a nice level of pininess on the end as well. It's just a really good beer. I know we're not doing comparisons anymore, but this would be my winner, even though I really enjoyed the last beer a lot. This just has an even longer lasting finish. It's like I'm drinking it more because I want to taste more of it, not because it leaves anything lacking.
No, that's fair.
Lacking anyway. It's just a really good beer.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Good. So, dear listener, if you'd like to tell us about the beers that you've been drinking or your thoughts on PlayStation, and if you're going to elect for any of these PlayStation Plus subscriptions, come to the social medias at TankTapCast, or you can go to outoflives.net or the Out of Lives YouTube page and leave a comment underneath the video or audio versions of where you're getting your podcast from us. Leave us a rating and a review in your podcast subscription service, because that really helps us. I am at Nova_47. Lucy is.
Let me play Metal Gear Solid 4 on native consoles.
Totally thought you were going to say on Switch.
Gotta stream it, mate.
On Switch.
That's what you get.
Yes.
That's what you get. And you can stream it, but that's it.
God. You imagine stream. I'd rather die. I'd rather put a bullet in my head than stream that to Switch. Oh my god. Like 500p. Like 20 frames a second.
Probably crawling through that
seriously.
fucking vent, just
It will take another 16 hours.
slow. And Aadil is.
Still here.
Yeah.
I'm at the Omniarch on all of the things.
Perfect. Come and send one of us a shout, and we will link you to our Discord as well, where you can come and chat to us all the time about all this shit as well.
Resistance free online on.
Nice.
multiplayer
Do those
that game?
servers exist anymore?
Yes, and we're going to play online on PS3. Yeah, it's really disappointing that they weren't going to do anything more to their preservation kind of effort. But
well.
that's what's most disappointing for me. But yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I mean, that's every company in existence, isn't it? To be fair.
Yeah, Nintendo have really dropped the ball on that.
We'll
Xbox have like 2 games from their back catalogue. The ones that Bill Gates like, and that's nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing else.
I'm sure we'll get more into preservation at another point in a coming episode.
It's important,
It's
people.
very important, and it's being talked about more and more and more and more and more and more and more. We've probably talked about preservation a little bit previously, so you can hunt out one of those episodes over at outoflives.net. But that's all of the places that we inhabit. They're the games that we've been playing, the games that we'd like to talk about / services, and the beers that we've been drinking. So for this week, we've been tanked up. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
I like just a wave. Fuck the podcast listeners. Just a wave.
www.outoflives.net